Alright, and what's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video and another part of what of Naruto was the Reincarnation of the Sage of Six Paths, redo, part 3. I know the last video was a little short, so I'm gonna try to make this video a little longer. Anyways, before I continue, the Discord server is up, as I said in the last video, so go check that out if you haven't. Anyways, let's get into the video. So, in the last part, Naruto interacted a little bit more with all the bijuu, and we had a time skip up until the start of the academy, and we had Naruto unlock his form of ice release, and I asked you guys about the ship, and I got a lot of different answers. I got a lot of Fu, Yugito, Hinata, Sasuke as a female. Interesting, that one. And I got Shizuna, which before that I'd never heard of before, because I don't know. So, I don't know. Fu and Ino were pretty much tied up until what I've seen so far. But I'm gonna choose Fu because I have done, well, because I think it'll be more interesting to do Fu. Because I feel like a lot more people have done Ino as the ship, and I wanted to do something a little different. So, Fu it is. Flashback to around 5 years after the Nine-Tails attack. It was decided that all former jinchurki who now aren't jinchurki anymore, well, of course Naruto is, but former jinchurki like Yugito, Fu, Gaara, Roshi, and of course the one and only Killer Bee, all of those people will come to the Hidden Leaf Village, because even though they are not jinchuriki anymore, they still have not exactly the bijuu's chakra, but they still have very large chakra reserves, especially the adults, because they had the bijuus inside of them for quite a long time, so their chakra reserves grew along with them, meaning that even if they don't have their bijuu, they are still a force to be reckoned with. And they were sent to Konoha to unite the 5 nations, or rather, the 5 hidden villages. Anyways, we go back to the present time, when Naruto, Tsuki, and Sasuke are going to the academy for the first time. They knock on the door, they introduce themselves. Of course, everybody knows who Naruto is. And whilst going to sit, they were planning on all sitting in the same bench. However, Naruto sees a few people. There's Gaara of the Sand Village. There's Fu of the Waterfall. And Naruto wants to sit with them because he knows that they're former jinchuriki. And even though they didn't have their jinchuriki, their tailed beasts for long, because they're Naruto's age, meaning they just had it for a few days, and it was robbed of them after, well, a few days. But he still emphasizes with them, since for a brief time, they held the same tailed beasts that Naruto now does. So he goes over to sit with those two. And Sasuke and Tsuki are a little bit surprised, since they had been best friends so far, ever since they met Naruto. But whatever, it's fine. They're not going to be too hard on him, since it is their first day at the academy, and Naruto wants to make new friends. What's the harm in that, right? So the first few lessons, everybody introduces themselves, and then they go outside to spar a little bit, and for everyone to have a chance to show off their abilities. This is a test for the teachers to see how strong everybody is, physically, mentally, and how tactical people can fight. And even though they're not really expecting any fancy jutsus at the moment, they still want to see how people will fight, even if it is just some taijutsu. However, they weren't expecting what was about to come. Gaara was extremely skilled with his sand, as he still got his gift from his mother, even if he wasn't the one-tailed jinchurki anymore. He still had very good affinity for sand release. Fu had quite a large chakra reserves because she was a former jinchurki for a little while. Naruto, of course, trained by tailed beasts themselves, and reincarnation of the Sage of Six Paths, although nobody knows that. Very powerful himself. The two Uchihas can use the first stage of their Sharingan, and can do some fireball jutsus. And some other people as well, like Shikamaru Nara, who's known to be very smart amongst the children. So the first fight comes along, and it's Shikamaru Nara versus Fu. And their fight starts out as a normal taijutsu fight. However, then Shikamaru tries to corner Fu with a punch, but at the same time using one of his shadow possession jutsus, which he learned from his father before the academy started, as his father told him that it would be a good idea to train a jutsu before he joined the academy. Therefore, Fu is now trapped in one of Shikamaru's shadow possession jutsus. However, as we know him, he gives up, because even though he only used one jutsu and, well, a little bit of hand-to-hand combat, he's still very exhausted, because, they're only 8 years old, what do you expect? So, Fu wins the fight, even though Shikamaru showed great skill. Then, it's Tsuki Uchiha versus Sasuke Uchiha. Good luck, you two, Naruto says. You'll sure need it, Tsuki. Shut up, Sasuke. You're going down. This is gonna be a hard fight, Naruto says, as both Uchihas take their stands and prepare for a fireball jutsu clash. As the proctor allows them to start the fight, they do so. Immediately, they both use a fireball jutsu, and after that, they do some hand-to-hand combat, each landing blows on the other. Then, Tsuki decides to take it up a notch and activates her one Tomoe Sharingan, which does strain on her chakra a little bit because they haven't trained with it that much. However, it's very useful to predict Sasuke's blows, and therefore she can dodge them much easier and use them to her advantage. Then Sasuke does so as well. And after about 2 more minutes of fighting, they're both extremely exhausted from the Sharingan and hitting each other until they can't no more. And so it ends in a draw. That was an interesting fight. And then the unthinkable fight happens. Gaara versus Naruto Namikaze. What? Good luck. Good luck to you as well, Naruto. As they both take their stance. Are you not gonna take that dull-looking thing off your back? Isn't it gonna disturb you? It's gonna help me, Naruto. Oh yeah? Well, show me. As Gaara takes the lid off of his... How do I describe it? I'm just gonna say it's a backpack. He takes the lid off his backpack as immediately a lot of sand fills, well, the radius of 5 meters around Gaara. How was all of that sand stored in there? That shouldn't even work. That's your only concern? Whatever. As Naruto prepares to use some wind jutsu to blow the dust away. Well, rather, the sand away. But Gaara isn't as, well, aggressive as in canon, because Shukaku isn't driving him mad. And therefore, he had some love in his life. And he's on okay terms with his brother and sister, and so he's mentally stable. As Gaara sends his sand towards Naruto, Naruto first jumps over it, but then realizes that there's sand surrounding him. And so he's gonna need to think of something, because he knows that if he gets stuck in the sand, he's free to get punched until Gaara decides to let loose. And so Naruto uses a winjutsu to blow all the sand away, and funny enough, it actually lands on Gaara's face, temporarily blinding him. Oh, what? I can't see! Gaara yells. Next time, don't use that sand. It's gross. What do you mean it's gross? It's sand. As Naruto is now engaging with Gaara in hand-to-hand combat. As Naruto is pretty good at taijutsu, which he learned from Son Goku, the Four Tails. As Naruto then suddenly feels a weird feeling on one of his tails. Wait, what? As he looks back, he sees sand on one of the tails, wrapped around it. Why do you have tails? I thought that was a costume you put on. What? No, why would I put on a costume? I don't know. You seem kind of weird. What? Whatever. Well, take that off. It's really annoying, you know? Fine, Gaara said, as he took off the sand off of Naruto's tail. As Naruto's tails are very sensitive to touch, so are his furry ears. So why do you look like a cat? And why 13 tails? Why can't you just stick with one? Actually, you just gave him an idea. As Naruto suddenly sits down and crosses his legs. Wait, what? What are you... But before Gaara could finish his sentence, Naruto closes his eyes and doesn't even listen to him anymore. As Naruto's now standing before the 10 bijuu in his mindscape. As he asks Ataru, "Yo, Ataru, can you do me a favor?" Yes, Naruto. As we then cut back to the academy, where about 30 seconds later, Naruto stands up again. But when no one was looking, somehow his appearance changed. Now instead of 13 tails, he now had 10, each different from the last, as these were each one tail from their respective bijuu. Shukaku's tail, Matatabi, Isobu, Songoku, Kokuo, Saiken, Chomei, Gyuki, Kurama, and Ataru, each in their respective order, starting from 1, going up to the 13 tails. There, is that better now? But how? Oh, I can change my appearance. You're even weirder than I thought you were, you know? I guess. Anyways, are we gonna fight now, or what? Sure. As Naruto now learned a new technique, for in his mindscape, time went a little slower, so he had more time to talk to Ataru. And in that time, he learned that his tails are kind of like a physical manifestation of his bijuu, meaning that, for example, the tail of Shukaku that Naruto has on his back can emit sand and control it, just with Naruto's will. Or his second tail from Matatabi can put out flames, blue flames. And that goes on for every single bijuu, or tailed beast. So Naruto then bends all of his tails, so now they're sticking up, when suddenly, in front of Naruto's face, a black sphere starts to form as it gathers particles from the air, seemingly getting larger and larger as Naruto swallows it. Wait, what? Why would you swallow an attack? As Naruto then seems to throw up, but instead of vomiting, he releases Tailed Beast Bomb, a Bijudama, which annihilates anything in his path. And so Naruto knocks out Gaara with a single attack. Naruto Namikaze is the winner, as even though the Chunin senseis at the academy had high hopes for Naruto as he was Minato's son, they didn't expect something like that, as Gaara was known to be one of, if not the strongest one of their age group. So Naruto smacking him out, knocking him out in a single attack was absolutely unthinkable. However, they can't deny that it just happened right in front of their eyes. As the rest of the fights go on for the day, Naruto goes home after the end of the academy day, and at the Namikaze house, they're celebrating once again for Naruto's first academy day, and so Minato invites Fugaku and Sasuke and Tsuki because they of course also had their first day at the academy. And then Itachi and Mikoto also are there. And again, Shisui, because why not? I mean, he's Shisui, he does what he wants, right? Anyways, but then Naruto gets an idea. He had a very nice time with them, so he wants to invite Gaara and Fu as well. Especially Gaara, because Gaara is the first person of Naruto's age that he was actually able to fight and spar with, giving him an actual challenge, because although he had sparred Sasuke and Tsuki a few times, it's just not the same, as not only do they always use the same sequence of attacks that their father Fugaku showed them, which is a fireball jutsu, some kunai attacks, and then going in for hand-to-hand combat, but also Gaara seemed to be different from the rest. He had this aura about him, and Naruto found that amazing. And he had a really nice connection to him. And so Naruto and Gaara quickly became friends, of course along with Fu, as all three of them had a common basis, which is they were, or still are, jinchurki. Meanwhile, in Naruto's head, you just see Chomei and Shukaku, and Kurama, each talking as a three, for they now see that their respective jinchurkis are now being friends, so they decided to give it a chance for them to also become to also become closer. For ever since Ataru has talked to Naruto and calmed all the tailed beasts down a little bit, and a few years passed, the tailed beasts seemed to regain the emotions they once had. For example, Kurama seems kinder now, and he has a little bit more trust towards humans as he sees how they treat Naruto, and even though they know that Naruto has Kurama inside of him, they don't treat Naruto any different from anybody else, and although it could be because he's Minato's son, it's still a sign of respect. Also, he sees that the Jinchuriki are getting along, so anything's possible, right? We now skip forward a little bit, and it's about 2 years later, about halfway through Naruto's academy life, and he's on to becoming a genin if he continues on his path. He's gotten much stronger, even being able to, well, use some B-rank jutsus, and even making his way towards the Rasengan. However, in secret, Ataru explained how the true Rasengan works. By the way, when I say true Rasengan, I mean the one that Ashura used, the original Rasengan, as Minato truly is not the one that invented it, because Ashura was the first one that used it. And so, Naruto can actually use Ashura's version of the Rasengan, which is even more powerful than Minato's. Naruto, Fu, and Gaara have now gotten much closer, and Naruto has grown a little bit of a crush towards Fu, unknowing that she has done the same to Naruto, as she's the girl that shyly followed Naruto and watched him train all those years ago before they joined the academy. But she was a little bit scared of Naruto's title since everyone saw him as the son of the Hokage. Alrighty guys, but that's gonna be it. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe, join the Discord. See ya.